folklore. But as I talk to you, as I see the younger generation sitting before me, my thoughts go beyond the confines of cultural economics and folklore. So I go beyond my subject and to tell you that don't be taken away by the greedy of this market, the greediness of the market. Don't be carried away by the waves of capitalism, by the what shall I say, the fancies of life, because they will not take you anywhere. But what lies in you is the support that you have to give to your own people. See, I would like to end up my talk to say that I think Dr. Singh has given very technical explanation of the protection of the the protection of the traditional knowledge, the folklore, and their lawmen. They are always, they detail on the details. But we are economists. We have to take the people to better levels of life. We have the welfare input in our thoughts. So I would like to end up saying that do not be swayed by the waves of capitalism, the waves of the fancies of the market, that you're all there. When I go to US, I found that the Indians and the Chinese are the most populated people in the universities. And I'm very sorry to say, Dr. Scott, that they have a very huge infrastructure, but they don't have their own students. Because many of them go up for employment, even after the schooling, because in the name of independence of the children move out of the house, many of them move out of the houses, they want to be on their own, and therefore they have to eke out their living, they have to manage the resources themselves. But children see the countries like India, the Asian countries, your family is very strong, your culture is very strong, and you are protected until our last breath. You are protected by the family members until our last breath. And your education is being taken care of, your health is being taken care of, and you are not allowed to take care of yourself until our last breath. So please take cognizance of that. Please take every advantage of the joint family system. Please take every advantage of the close split family system. Please take every advantage of the traditions of your country, the folklore, the traditional knowledge of your country, and the future of your country lies with you. You, the people of this country, and you, the people of our country as well. So therefore, with a small note, that what I would like to say in the end, I want the future generation to empower themselves. Empowering means getting highly qualified, extending your realms of education, extending your realms of development, but do not move away from the roots of your country. Keep the traditional knowledge and the culture of your country very strong, because the number is strength. India and China and the people who are allied with China, they are going to prosper in the world until the balance of power very soon. I hope so it happens even during my lifetime. Thank you for the opportunity.
I believe Professor Radha's speech was very inspiring, and I hope it stirred up your heart on how you view traditions. When we move forward in the midst of globalization, let's not forget our roots and our culture. Since, according to Professor Radha, the earth should be flat, so let's move smoothly from the east to the west and expand our horizons to hear from Professor Radha&Pryor from Regent University School of Law.
Well, I would like to begin by again thanking the organizers of this conference. It was interesting to think that 4.5 months ago, when I first came to India, or shortly thereafter, I was teaching at a national law university in Jodhpur, and my colleague here to the left, Mason, joined us for a month of teaching at that same university, and through that providentially organized meeting, I am here in Taiwan today with the opportunity to speak to you. So I'm very thankful for that, and to my fellow participants in today's conference, and of course to my wife, who is very dutiful by being here because she is not a lawyer, she's not a student of IPR. Nonetheless, she has joined us, and probably will all be better having listened to her instead of me. But I've been asked to speak, and I think I can speak helpfully to this program, this group of students, that is the members of the graduate program in business communications, because I am departing from the program which had me speaking on the topic of intellectual property and legal education in the United States to something which I believe is of general interest, certainly to those who work in the field of intellectual property, but those who work in other fields as well. In other words, my comments today will be based on a program that one of my colleagues at my university, Regent University, has taught, a 4-day program. Of course, we do not have 4 days, so I will have to speed through it in many respects, but a 4-day program dealing with skills that we teach in our law school. That is the particular skill of negotiations. So it's important to realize that what I'm going to talk about here would certainly apply to negotiations in the context of intellectual property rights, but negotiations concerning a joint venture, negotiations regarding the sale of goods, and the like. What I hope will be helpful here is not necessarily teaching you in the next 25 minutes or so the skills of negotiations, but rather suggesting a format, a program which, when expanded perhaps to 4 days, would be useful to people who will be engaged in a world which indeed, as Professor Radha has suggested, is flat. I mean, we are here from America, my colleagues are here from India, we are all in Taiwan, we will all be moving other places in the course of our lifetimes, and in all of those places, in all of those times, we will be engaged in negotiations as individuals for our own interests, and negotiations, in my case, as an attorney representing a client. So the first slide here talks about the introduction to legal negotiations. Now, this slide is particularly associated with what, in our 4-day program, would be a negotiations problem. So that the problem assigned to the students attending this course would have to do with formulating a joint venture between America and citizens of another country. We, of course, do not have opportunity to present that problem today, but it's important to realize that the skills that I'm going to speak about can only be learned fully when put into practice. There's a difference between academic knowledge, which of course is important, and skills which take that academic knowledge and apply it to the problems that we face in everyday life. So this is the setting for the problem that we will not have opportunity to discuss. And similarly, this slide also reflects the nature of a joint venture and thus the specific form of legal issues that would arise in that problem. Again, we will move on to the more general knowledge, and I think very important knowledge. Negotiation versus legal negotiation. Again, I appreciate that this is not the students of the Faculty of Law at this university, but rather you are students of international communications. But the principles that I'm about to discuss here are equally applicable. In other words, there are negotiations that are conducted in what we would call the first person, where I negotiate on behalf of myself and you on behalf of yourself with respect to any matter of life, whether